Hey everyone and welcome back. It's Gina from Orchid at Opal.com, and today I have the Beads of the Month Club that I received for January 2023, and this happens to be their double fire polish Beads of the Month Club, which is where I happen to land in the rotation because I have their double version of the subscription that will rotate you through all 6 of the different ones that they have to offer. And those include things like gemstone beads, seed beads, delicas, 2-hole beads, hot and trendy, and the one we're about to take a look at, the fire polish. So with this one, every month the theme and palette changes, and we'll see a variety of 8 different containers of fire polish beads in varying forms because of course they come in all different shapes, sizes, and color combinations. And I'll also show you the Findings companion pack for this month, which happens to be antique silver, at least the one I received. That may change from person to person depending on your rotation and their stock levels at the time. And of course, if you're curious about signing up for this subscription or would like to know all the details, I have the link to their website listed right down below, so it'll take you right to it. And I'll also list the coupon code, which is OPAL10, OPAL10, that will save you 10% off the first month of your first club if you want to try them out. Let's first get started with the Findings Companion Pack. And what this is an optional monthly add-on, and it is in the form of a subscription just like the beads, and it's something that you can add on if you have an active monthly beading subscription with them. It doesn't cost any extra per month to ship, and it's just an additional $11.95 per month. So let's do a brief flip over, and we see some very unique things, which I find to be the case. They're always sending things that are above and beyond just the very basics, things that have some style and some interest to them that you may not have picked out on your own, and you might not see everywhere like some of the very basics. So let's get into this before we look at the beads, and we'll go down the list, checking these out up close one at a time. All right, so up first in this assortment is our Hollow Puff Oval Pendant, which is really cool. I haven't seen this type of pendant in particular, and just as the name suggests, it is in this puffed-like shape that is hollow and has that opening that goes directly through the center in that oval shape, and even has the different open sections in between the stripes of metallic, and some of the stripes have the extra little bit of a twisted appearance, and some of them are just plain, but that's a really cool piece. And then going along with the twisted design, we also have the twisted spacer beads, 10 pieces of those flat discs with the twist detail going around the outside of the spacers and matching with our other antique silver colored findings. Third is a scallop shell button. I know I've seen this before somewhere, and I really like it. It's got the darker areas that contrast with the lighter areas, which are more raised and bring out the dimension of that scallop shell, making it very clear what that is. And there's a look at the back. Up next is a set of spiral earring posts. So we have this pair along with the stoppers that go with them. And these have the spiral design, which kind of imitates the twisted look of some of the other pieces that we've received, and that darker inset section, and a simple loop at the bottom that you can use to attach these to your beadwork. Up next is the Sunburst Clasp Set, and this has a decent feel and weight to it, and also the thickness, which makes it feel like a quality piece, and it is the same on the front and the back. And we have that sort of sunburst-like design with the little isosceles triangles coming off of the center and the simple detail on the bar portion. Next is a set of 4 head pins that are 2 inches long. They are a 21 gauge size, and they have an 8mm ball at the bottom with that twisted design that also looks a lot like those twisted spacer beads. And these are more than just a simple head pin or a simple ball head pin, which I like to have sometimes because they just add that extra layer of detail, which can make your beadwork look even more special and take it up that extra notch. And then we wrap up the pack with a set of 10 oval jump rings in the 20 gauge wire and a 4x3mm size. Always happy to get the oval split jump rings that split on the side of the oval makes these less likely to come apart because your items tend to sit on one side of the oval or the other naturally. So that split isn't generally going to be where one of your components is sitting, making these a little bit more secure. And it gives you a well-rounded assortment of things to use all in the same color tone. I think making that a well-rounded findings companion pack. So every month the tone of metal or color will change. You'll get different things each and every time. And even once in a while, you'll get some colorful components like blue or purple or even black, which was pretty classy. And if you're somebody like me who doesn't get as excited about the findings as you do the beads, it's kind of nice to get something like that you don't have to think about, but that you can pull from later and really give your pieces those extra special touches. But now let's get into our fire polish club. So this being the double size has twice the quantities of beads as their single version, and all of their bead clubs have 2 different sizes so you can choose what's right for you with the difference in pricing and also the quantity. But in both sizes you do get 8 containers or 8 different varieties, and they're always going to be in high quality check glass, sometimes including different styles of faceted fire polish rounds, but also some other more unique one-hole beads. So it looks like I'm in for some warmer colors this month with the theme called Blazing Light, and I will flip that over. And you can definitely see these fiery shades, red, oranges, topaz, and even a little bit of gold, and some neutrals it looks like to go along with those fiery tones. So I'm looking forward to digging into these with you. I'm going to get organized and then we will take a closer look at these one by one. All right, the first variety in this container that we see are the yellow half gold rounds in the 3mm size, and there are a total of 280 pieces in that container. I have put most of them in the divider down below, so I just have a few of them in my hand. We have a ton of these to work with though. I think there's like 50 pieces usually per strand, the smaller strands of fire polish and the 3mm. So that's close to getting like 5 strands worth. And these are a vibrant yellow, but are combined with that more antique gold color that tones them down just a little bit. And they're interesting to look at because the gold shows up just on approximately half the bead, and naturally they're probably going to be turned all different ways when you use them in your jewelry making, so they make for an interesting bead to look at when they are combined in that way, and every so often you get that touch of metallic shine. Second on the list are the transparent red/yellow rounds in the 8mm size with 24 pieces contained in this selection. This is definitely a fiery mix because it combines the red and yellow together, which gives you spots that look a little bit orangey, especially when looking at them from further away. They also catch a lot of light because of their transparency and that shiny, glossy fire polish finish and the different facets that they have. So this giving us another size of the fire polish rounds, this time in our larger 8mm. Then getting a little bit smaller, but still in our fire polished rounds, we've got the 6mm size in the color called Dark Siam Marble with 60 pieces included. So here are these very juicy berry red fire polish beads with some areas being a little bit more opaque, with other spots being more transparent, giving these a little bit of interest outside what would have been a solid red colored fire polish bead. These also have the high gloss shine and the very uniform shape and faceting. In our fourth container, we have these sparkly Siam luster rounds in the 4mm size. So here are just some of those 4mm rounds from the total of 150 pieces that were in the container, and having this luster coating just gives them that extra bit of sort of a sheer metallic silvery shine on top of these transparent bright red glass beads. making them even more reflective and even more eye-catching. And now we have this great set of 4 different sizes in the faceted rounds. And we're also going to see 4 other shapes and sizes of fire polish beads to go along with this classic shape. So in our 5th container, we have the coated white turbines that are 6 by 7 millimeters in size with 50 pieces in our container. This is our more neutral variety for this palette. You can see the band of opaque white glass that goes around the center of those turbine beads, and that dark, more antique-like golden wash that is covering both ends of those beads as you get closer to the whole location. And these would really go with a lot of different things because they are so neutral, and I think it's good that we get a little bit of the more toned down color to go with some of those bright pops of fiery golds and reds, balances them out. And this shape, and maybe it's the color combination too, they remind me of a little seashell, the way they have the swirls on either side. Container number 6 is holding the medium topaz rondelles in the 3 by 6 millimeter size with 100 pieces in the container. So we have this honey golden glass that is really picking up the light beautifully, and the way that it's refracting against the facets that you see around the sides in that unique way. The top and the bottom of these beads is completely flat, so you really just have that rounded, faceted area going all around the outside of that wider portion. We have another unique shape. These are the 3 cut teardrops in white Picasso, and there's 50 pieces included. So here we have some more of that opaque white glass that shows up. It's coming from underneath that Picasso finish that brings us that warm, earthy speckle combination. And it's like these beads are sliced on 3 sides, making them similar to a cross between a regular rounded drop and a flat teardrop shape, and giving you the ability to see that white come through on all different sides, no matter where this bead is turned or facing. And they have a hole going up and down through the length of those little drops. And then our 8th and final container is holding the red Picasso fluted rounds in a 9 millimeter size with 24 pieces in the container. So similar to the turbine beads with the white, these have that central band of that bright opaque red that really brighten up these beads and have that more toned down area on either side getting closer to the holes. And they also have the fluted texture as they get a little bit more narrow down towards either side of the bead. And that creates kind of that cool little zigzag pattern too, going along the middle with that bright red. And these would also work well with some of those other neutrals, as well as our other bright colors. It kind of brings in the combination of both the beads with that sort of earthy finish, plus the brighter color, with all those layers adding different dimension and interest, not just to these beads, but into your finished product. So another stunning combination, and lots of beads here to work with in this double club, which you could combine all together in this very fiery mix, or you could combine with beads that you've gotten in past clubs. And if you were to sign up for their single version, you'd still get the 8 different varieties, just half the quantities that you see here. Another perk to their subscriptions is they will send you a link that's printed at the bottom of your paper invoice that comes in your monthly package. And if you just type that into your web browser, it'll bring you to a web page that changes every month as well. And it's got a collection of 3 different downloadable and printable patterns that you can save onto your computer or print them out for another time. And those are only available for that particular month, and then they change to the next month. So over time, you'll build up a fun library of all different beading patterns, and a lot of times they'll use more unique shapes, but you'll find plenty of the fire polish, especially the fire polish rounds, in a lot of bead weaving patterns. So it's always helpful to have that very versatile shape in all the different sizes that they come in. So that is all for the double fire polish beads of the month club, which I've gotten in this rotation. Next month, I will get something different from one of their 6 different varieties. And of course, I've shared them a lot over the past few years, so you can check out the playlist that I have to see other varieties of their fire polish club, and of course, the other clubs that they have. I'll be back in the next few days and I will share with you what I received from their hot and trendy and 2-hole beads of the month clubs, 2 of the ones I subscribe to, which happen to be a couple of my favorites because I like to work with the adventurous multi-hole shapes and things that are new and different. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. But as a reminder, that link for their website will be right down below the video, as well as that coupon code OPAL10, which will allow you to save 10% off the first month of your first club. So feel free to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of Beads of the Month Club or anything you see here in particular or anything else you'd like to say, because I always love to hear from you. I hope you enjoyed checking out this selection, and if you have any questions about this club, don't hesitate to reach out to them via their customer service email or phone number because they are extremely helpful and have great customer service. And that includes questions about shipping to your specific location because they may be able to provide you with a quote if you are outside of the US. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Also subscribe while you're here if you haven't already, and feel free to share the video wherever you like. I'll be back real soon, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. And as always, happy beading.